Hey there, how are you doing this morning? It is Kristi. I hope you are having a good day. I'm looking at a sound check here. It seems to be less clippy than it was last time. I think last time I was a little too loud. But hello, good Sunday morning to you. How are you guys doing? I am back with my Hamilton sweatshirt because it's one of the coziest things I own. So it tends to get in the rotation a lot on the weekends. But I got a different coffee mug. Not my Hamilton one this time. So hello guys, it's Kristi. I am here to do a Sunday hangout. I'm trying to do a bit more original content on my channel within the confines of the time and energy I have given my full-time job. So what I've been doing is working on some Sunday chats. Last time I geeked out on battle rap on YouTube. Now I'm going to geek out on a battle rap film that has come out on YouTube Premium in the last couple weeks. So let me just have a quick sip of my coffee. I have my IMDb page. Can you see that? Yeah. Have that all ready to go. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the movie Bodied, which is a YouTube original film you can only watch, to my understanding, here on YouTube if you have YouTube Premium. For me, YouTube Premium costs 10 euros a month maybe, and I don't really get it for the extra content or the music, to be honest, although I didn't get it for the content of the music, but because Bodied was coming out on Premium, I did decide to give it the free 1-month trial in order to get access to it. And having had it for a month now, it's for me as a YouTuber, I use it a lot to watch content, to follow things, and it's got some premium services. But anyway, I signed up pretty much for the opportunity to watch this movie. It was one of the only ways I could see it since I couldn't see it in the theaters. And I really enjoyed it. So I thought I would talk in this review a little bit about why I enjoyed it if you haven't seen it. So I'm going to do sort of multiple stages. Part one will be talking about the movie if you don't really know what it is and you want to not know too much about it. I'm going to try to remember these categories. Not too much about it because you want to experience it fresh. And I'll kind of go into more depth in case you want to know a bit more about what to expect. And then I'll say, okay, now I'm going to talk about the movie. Spoiler alert time. Sorry, Sunday morning and coffee is always good, but I always end up having to clear my throat. Right, so the movie Bodied. As I said, it came out on YouTube. It's about battle rap, and one might immediately think, okay, is this another 8 Mile? And as they say in Germany, jein, yes and no. I mean, when you have a movie about a white person getting involved in battle rap, I think there are always going to be comparisons made to 8 Mile because they did that first, in terms of like taking that story and pushing it forward. That's sort of associated with Eminem. In this movie, it's not 8 Mile. You will not have the same emotional journey as you did maybe watching 8 Mile because it's a very different movie with very different themes and are very intelligently put together. So if you know nothing about battle rap, and I would strongly recommend you watch the movie. This first thing is, if you have a chance, see the movie. It is a thing that is worth the time of your life. If nothing else, just to experience it. You don't have to like it or love it, but to see what I think is a pretty original piece of cinema, then yeah, do that. That's like an experience of life. So why not have that one? A little bit about the movie itself. It was directed by Joseph Kahn. He's an Asian American director. He's mostly known, I think, for doing music videos. I think he's done really huge artists videos in the music scene, and this film was a passion project for him based on interviews I've seen. It's actually, it also, I should say, stop saying the word actually all the time, but I'm quite surprised that I haven't seen more coverage of this or more mainstream media coverage. And maybe that's because it was released on YouTube. And there have been some YouTube, reviews of it or people talking about it. But really, I haven't seen that many interviews with Joseph Kahn, and he's got very interesting things to say. He was on, I can't remember the name of the show, but it was Charlemagne show, the one where they give Donkey of the Day, and Eminem was complaining about it. But he was on talking about the film along with some of the cast members, and there's so much thought that goes behind this movie in terms of what the message is, what the characters are, what it's trying to say, without being in your face. And Khan doesn't want there to be an easy sort of like wrap up answer. There's issues that he, as a director, wants the audience to reflect on, and not necessarily come to this answer is right and that answer is wrong, but what is this? What is my opinion on this? Where are the lines for me? So Joseph Kahn, really interesting visuals. I don't want to insult him by comparing him to Edgar Wright, but if you think about Scott Pilgrim versus the World and some of the more interactive ways that he used, Wright used cinematic, the cinematic space, as it were. There's a bit of a feeling of that with Khan, but very much his own take. He's got a very sort of commercial, very specific aesthetic when he wants to. And then the writers on the movie, Alex Larson wrote the screenplay, and then the story, the arc itself, was written by Joseph Kahn and Alex Larson together. When I looked it up, maybe I should double check it, but when I looked at the writer, I'm pretty sure Alex Larson is actually like a hip hop battle rapper. So he's someone that came up in the Canadian scene. I should do my research before this. I read this up. I read up on this like a week and a half ago, and he was a white guy who did really well in the battle rap scene in Canada, which, I think there's probably a population advantage there to in terms of like the talent pool is much larger than the non-white population, I would imagine. But anyway, these are two guys who love this competitive poetry, art performance sport. I mean, what do you call battle rap? I mean, it's so many things. But on this, they work together to both have the story arc in terms of the meaning and the ideas that Khan had, but then also to have the kind of lyrics that you would need for people who weren't bringing in and writing their own. So if you haven't seen Bodied and you're interested, what I would say is, and then I'm going to declare my sort of, okay, this is the safe space for spoiler-free stuff. I'm going to section that off in a second. What is what you can expect or be prepared for, I guess, or notice is the main character is Adam. The sort of supporting actor, the sort of his friend in there is called Ben Grimm, after the Fantastic Four comic book character. And it is essentially a fish out of water story. It's about, a white master student being attracted to, like being drawn into battle rap, and the fact that he's coming from a perspective where it's not acceptable to be openly racist and say racist things, in whatever kind of company. And he's going into a world where racial disses are just like expected. And what the art means and what language means and what the rules are, where the boundaries are, what you can say, what you can't say, not in terms of just a racial comment, but in terms of how you can use language to wound people. And where are the lines? If you are in a battle rap and there are no lines and you go up against someone, do you still have lines inside? Are there lines that you won't cross? Or does anything go? And what happens, when you draw lines or when you cross lines? What are the emotional outcomes or effects of your behavior? And it's really, in some ways, it is a movie about battle rap, but ultimately, I think you should look at it as an ethical film. It's a question that puts up ethical dilemmas and does not attempt to give us, it has a bias because it's a rap battle film, and so obviously it has a sort of like a positive view or a warm view of battle rap, but those kinds of questions are really meant for us to wrestle with, not for the director to say these are where the lines are, or this is right and that is wrong. And so if you want that sort of a challenge of an experience in a film, challenging you and your ethics and your reflection on where these lines are and when they are, and is it sometimes okay to say these things or not, then go ahead and watch Bodied. And I would definitely recommend it, as I said. The other thing, too, as I said in another video, use the subtitles, not only because you might not catch bars when they're rapping really fast, But I also noticed, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much to the people who did the subtitles on the film Bodied. When in the lyrics, the rapper intends there to be a homophone, two words that are used next, two words that sound alike, they will give you, for instance, the play on words. They'll put the word that's being played on parentheses, or they'll do a little thing to indicate how you're meant to interpret it. In a non-spoiler alert at all kind of way, there's a line about a character named XL, and somebody says, "When's the last time we saw XL XL?" XL is in the letters, XL is in to move forward, to go up in the world. And so the XL in the subtitles, and then the XL with the Excel spreadsheet is in the subtitles. So that's also really useful, and why I would also recommend, especially if you're not used to the rap battle scene, go ahead and use those. If you don't want any more information about the movie, I guess come back later or skip ahead. If you're live, come back later. Otherwise, skip ahead to some timestamp I'll put in the Hangout afterwards. But I'm going to kind of drop some of the guarding here, because I've really made an effort to not talk too much about the content of the film. And I'm dying to talk about the content of the film. So, by the way, you guys, I don't know, I'm trying out a new thing. It's so hard to light glasses. Reflections are so bad. So I've got, you can probably see the reflection of my glasses, right? Oh, there it is right there. I've got my light now. I've got 2 light sources, and I'm trying to keep my face lit, but also not have the glare. And oh, you see this thing back here? Sorry, I got totally distracted. That's my Christmas light. I put up a little Christmas light on my window. And yeah, you can kind of see that there now. That's my festive. These little lampy kind of things in different colors and different sort of patterns are sold all over the Christmas markets in Germany. And I've longed for one for a while, and I finally got it. And then I realized I don't have any good place to put it, because the cord isn't very long. And so the only person who gets to enjoy it is me. And you guys occasionally for 4 weeks of the holidays. All right. So that's that's the time to go away if you don't want the spoiler version. If you don't care about the spoiler version, because chances are you haven't seen the movie. I don't know how many people have YouTube Premium and have watched it. I'm sure quite a lot, but I don't know that many people in my audience would have done that. Let me just talk a little bit more about the film with plenty of spoilers, and go into depth more about why I like it. So the cast on this movie, the main character is Callum Worthy. He plays the character of Adam, and he is let's see, put this on the screen, and you can't really see that. It's a small picture, but there he is. That guy. He plays the white dude. Jackie Long is amazing. He's so good in this movie. Definitely check him out. He is just absolutely phenomenal. He plays Ben Grimm, who ends up being Adam's mentor. So here's a more detailed version of the story. Main character is Adam. He is an English master's student at Berkeley. He is living in the most, let me say, and when we talk about a stereotype of PC culture, that's how I'll refer to it. Adam occupies in the film the stereotype of Berkeley PC culture. And to the authors, to the credit of the director and the script writer, who also went on, the guy, Alex, who helped write it, he actually did a master's in English, not at Berkeley, but somewhere else. There's a lot of autobiographical stuff that's been drawn on for this film. And at Berkeley, he occupies this sort of, stereotype of the left. And during the conversations, when his friends of a variety of background talk about social issues, there is this, I think this, and then a friend will say, well, that's racist because of this reason. And another person say, well, that's racist because of this reason. And it's playing off of the whole that's racist trope or stereotype, or you want to say it's accurate. But the emphasis here is that I think in the film, all of the Berkeley characters aren't real people. I mean, Adam and Ben are the most real people in this movie. Certainly the rap battle scene has more realistic people in it, in terms of characters. Everyone on Berkeley's side of it really feels more like a stereotype than a real character. For instance, Adam's girlfriend Maya, whom we're introduced to in the first opening scene of, well, the opening sort of scenes of the film. She and Adam are at a rap battle, and Adam is playing the role of the explainer. He's the expositor. He is saying, this is what rap battle is, and this is what a bar is, and this is what the aim is, and this is how the wordplay is used. And he's explaining it to Maya. The Maya character, throughout the film, it's his girlfriend. They live together. She has literally zero redeeming qualities. There's, you know, it is, it's really difficult. And you can say it's a flaw, but it's not really the point of the story. There's no reason you see for Adam to be with Maya. Maya is simply a person filled with all kinds of stereotypes about the progressive left. And it works in the film. It's just, you know, yeah, I just want to notice that, that most of the women characters in here aren't written well. They're pretty much there to advance the men's characters. This film does not pass the Bechdel test in any way. But that being said, if we take Maya and the friendships he has at Berkeley as a representation of sort of the stereotype of PC culture, what Adam comes up against and slaps up in terms of the cultural clashes, his passion for and being drawn to battle rap, which he is an outsider in. Actually, he's an outsider in both senses of the words, because he came from New York to Berkeley. So he's kind of an outsider in Berkeley, even though that's where he's embedded. And he's an outsider to the battle rap scene, because he's a white guy who came up, you know, in a pretty privileged situation and has not grown up with battle rap. That then sets the tone for the kinds of conflicts that come up through the rest of the movie. And I don't want to go through, I'm not going to take you through the movie scene by scene. I want to kind of point out what I think are the bigger issues of the film. What are the things that the film is moving forward in order to talk about? And there's a lot of things, so kind of where to start. Language, the use of language, the use of racial insults. Right, so let's talk a bit about battle rap. Battle rap, as I said, and kind of inspired by the film, is competitive, improvisational, sometimes poetry, sport, you know, because it is competitive. There are perceptions of winners and losers, and there is demonstration of skill, and there is acknowledgement of excellence and, you know, being a superior quality ability. That is coupled with lyrically, because you're using words about opponent that you're trying to destroy, a sort of anything goes atmosphere. So when a person gets into the battle rap ring, as it were, you understand as a participant that anything could be said about you, and you can say anything you want to about that other person. So what do you do when you're in, you know, I guess you'd call it a Sargonian utopia, right? There are no limits on what can be said. That's not to say there aren't consequences for what is said. And that's the other part of what this film explores a little bit, or hints at, is the consequences of where you draw the lines, the consequences of what is too personal, or not so much what is too racist. I don't think that that line's not so much explored in this movie, but in terms of the human impact, that is what is explored. The effects of language on people. And that's what I think the most interesting ethical challenge that Bodied presents to us. If we accept the premise that inside the battle rap ring, anything goes, how do you affect the world once you leave the ring? There's a line, again, no spoilers, but there two people are battle rapping about a topic, pretty sensitive topic. And someone from the audience starts yelling and jumping into it. And one of the participants says, "Don't interrupt me when I'm battling." And the other guy says, "Yeah, we're battling, you're just talking." And as a social scientist, it's for me, it's interesting to see again how we socially construct rules that guide our life. That that line to me really brought home that idea of when you enter the ring. It's literally like, like in a boxing ring. You can't go out in the street and just beat the crap out of somebody by punching them. But when you get into a boxing ring, that place is a place where you can punch the crap out of somebody, right? And that's the same sort of premise with the battle rap. And him saying, look, we're battling, you're just talking, means you've now crossed the line because you're not a participant. And that those categories of when you can say things, when you can't, or if you say things in a certain situation, they're held to a different standard than if you say them outside of that situation. And I guess now maybe, so again, I'm not going to give too much away of the plot. The ending, wow. The ending is like 30 minutes in length. There's it's a series of confrontations between characters. You get to see them, kind of moving through the story and the battle rap scene, and then they come to this sort of, the big one where they're going to all do their battles, and there are multiple, I'll just say multiple, confrontational scenes in where people battle each other. And I'm so glad this was on YouTube. I had to pause it between rounds. I literally had to, when I see the reaction videos and the people see someone do an amazing flow or a speed rap, or they say something that's so clever, or you never would have thought of putting those words together, and they pause the video and they're just like, I'm out. Like, I can't process. That's how I was at the end of this movie. I had to go like fan myself. I had to go emotionally do something else because I couldn't move from one emotional state and just jump right into the next one. That was me, though. That was me. But this film was a ride. It really was, really, really, really was a ride. All right, so I think maybe I'll put that into the timestamp. Hi, 11 viewers. By the way, how are you guys doing on a Sunday? Probably really early morning if you're in the States. It's just coming up on afternoon, our time. But I'm going to wrap this up because it's probably, I've been nattering on, for about 30 minutes, and that's what I want to do for the video. Try to wrap this up, and then update on the Quedeca KSI beef a bit, and then I'll go. And I can also tell you that I will be on Kevin Logan's channel tonight, but I'll mention it at the end. All right. How do I feel about battle rap as a progressive feminist? That's probably what people are curious about. Kristi, it's so racist and it's so misogynistic and it's so violent. Yeah. I think that the character of Adam in this film, who is a white person coming to a different cultural art form that's been perfected and expressed so completely through the African American experience, coming into that and just, in some ways, you look at the structure, the talent, the ability that it requires to do a freestyle or to do a rap battle. To me, lyrically, it's like the architecture of a cathedral. I don't know how you can understand the rules of how things work within the music, like the bars and the beat and the flow and the metrics of how you could assess people's work and then not just be blown away by, freestyle rap or hip hop in general. But when it comes to battle rap, you're doing it in the moment, you're doing it on the fly. Yeah, you might have things that you are prepared to talk about, but the ability in a battle rap to listen to your opponent's disses on you and then come up with a response that draws on what they said and turn it back on them in real time. I mean, come on. I can't think of a more exciting or innovative creative challenge that exists in the arts today. Maybe improv theater, but even that has a lot more backup. It is not nearly as competitive or filled with pressure. So I don't know. I mean, I can't now unsee the, I don't even really want to, like, mastery, just the art form, just the profound art form that hip hop is, the combination of lyrics and music in that format with those sort of aesthetics. On the other hand, I do acknowledge it comes out of predominantly it comes out of the experience of Black men, although other people now, I think hip hop is universal. Hip hop is done in all languages now, but in the United States especially, you can't separate hip hop and rap from the experience of the African American community. And while I'm not discounting the contributions of women, it's just that, just like with sexism in other parts of America, it was easier for men to come forward first. And the gangster culture out of which it came, the competitive culture out of which it came, is also very much bound up in masculine norms and ideas of dominance, competitiveness, agility, skill, all of those sorts of things that frame athletics that have always been dominated again by men because they wouldn't let women compete, is also associated with rap battle. So confrontation, kind of going up mano a mano, just seeing who's best, hit each other until one of you falls down, run to see who's fastest, jump to see who's highest. It's just you against other people, but also against yourself, pushing yourself. Then you bring in, okay, so all of these components, then you bring in the racism and the misogyny. Do I feel comfortable with those things? Absolutely not. It does, when I hear a line that I think, again, within battle rap, there are lines still in terms of how close you get to crossing a boundary, right? Saying, going too personal, or making an offensive joke in order to win a point, right? There are grades of those types of phrases or insults that you can throw. And so I'm left with the dilemma that I think a lot of us in the postmodern era are left with, which is, how do you enjoy something that's, that parts of it you really don't like? How do you process that? And yeah, it's easy to say, oh, I love it, I'm just going to defend everything. That's very simplistic. Or I hate it and I'm just going to avoid it, which is also simplistic. I mean, I'm not saying those are wrong answers. Those are easy answers. But I admire hip hop too much to let it go now. I don't want to have to give up the art form because of some sort of purity standard that I'm imposing on myself in the way I consume art. That, to be frank, I don't always have the opportunity to just know what kind of art I'm going to experience if I go into a cinema and I see something that offends me. So I'm reflecting on this a lot because it is an issue that is in the back of my mind. Like, where is my place in this? How do I enjoy this? How do I engage in a culture that I don't have a way to relate to other than through my white experience? And therefore, I'm mindful of the fact, as I've said, I'm a guest in the house of hip hop. I am not looking for right or wrong answers. I'm looking for lots of different answers from the community, because within hip hop, everyone has their own takes on these kinds of things. And it might depend on the situation. I'll give an example, maybe on a different level, or on a different case. This is, I'm thinking more of racial insults or misogynistic lyrics. And another thing that the film does well, and I don't want to spoil this, is that the film gives voice to a woman character, a Korean character, Hispanic character, a white character, and then there's a lot of Black characters, and there's a lot of white characters too, to be fair. But I think the kinds of things that are said by those characters, how do I put this? It speaks to a kind of a way of a worldview within. How do you insult people when you live in that worldview? And it is inside the ring, those lines, anything kind of goes. And that's the line of battle. It's up for the audience to sort of decide whether or not that was, too far or appropriate or a really good diss. And then, so as I said, the movie's not interested in telling us where lines should be drawn. It's interested in challenging us by showing us people crossing different kinds of lines. And that was really exciting. Now, bringing it back to, it can go too far. on the KSI, I'll bring up. So go watch Bodied. Go see the film if you can. I think you can get a premium YouTube trial 1 month for free. And I guess I'm plugging YouTube Premium here. Watch the movie, but to be honest, the really nice thing about YouTube Premium, I don't know if I can show you, but being in the States, not being from the States and not living in there, I use YouTube a lot to watch, American news clips and things. And when I normally use my phone and I have YouTube on there, if I go from having my screen on to having my screen off, YouTube will automatically turn itself off. And on YouTube Premium, it keeps running. Another nice feature is I'm watching a video on my phone and I want to go check Twitter while I'm listening to it. I can open up another window and YouTube stays running in the bottom corner and it can be expanded at any time. So it's a premium experience, I guess someone described it as. YouTube Premium is more of a premium YouTube interactive experience rather than a content access like with Netflix. So if you're going to go and give it a try, definitely try out the features. Oh, and no ads. This is the most important thing. No ads. You live ad-free with premium YouTube. And considering how much I actually do consume it, it's such a good deal for me. It saves me minutes of my life every day. All right. Yeah. So that's the Bodied review. And then I'll wrap it up by just kind of bringing this to my video last week about battle rap and hip hop. Oh, before I talk about that, right after the film came out, about a week or a few days after the film came out, Eminem dropped a freestyle that he did sort of inspired by the movie Bodied. And he also does the music for the soundtrack for Bodied. I was going to show you. That's right. I was going to show you a trailer. I get so excited about stuff and then I forget. All right, hold on, I got to move my light here for a second because it's in the way. Yeah, I've got this all set up. We're going to watch the uncensored version of the trailer for Bodied. Last thing, and then we'll talk about the KSI diss and whatever else I was supposed to talk to you about, and I've already forgotten. All right, let's watch this. And hold on, let me get my speakers. You can hear me moving things around. Get my mic a little bit closer here. Tested this out, but hopefully it won't be. Let me just, sorry, I'll do this because then I can see if it's too loud by reading the sound meter at the bottom. All right, this is how much I think about you guys. I'm already doing like audio mixing on the fly so that if you're watching with headphones, you don't get blown out of the water. Okay. And yeah, this is very much the uncensored version. So yeah, and this is the least offensive bits of the movie. I'll also put that out there.
All right, what's up? This is the California Battle League, and I'll be your host, Donnie Narco, a.k.a. the Walking Drug Lab, a.k.a. Mr. Splash. Put my drink on your bitch's ass and won't even tip the glass. You feel me?
Oh, so this is actually the opening scene. Go back a little bit. I have to talk over it for it to be fair use, so you guys know. So you're going to see Adam and Maya in this first shot right there. You got Adam. You can see he's all excited, and Maya always has a resting bitch face because her character never enjoys anything because she's written that way, right? And the next character you see is Ben Grimm, who's really important for Adam, not only because he's a mentor who takes Adam under his wing. He's an artist in his own right. He's got a life. He's got his own things he's dealing with. So I don't want to, yes, Adam is the main character and we see the world through Adam, but he's not the hero. And that's another theme of this movie is Adam's concern about not being perceived as racist and being perceived as a good person. And whether or not somebody who is, doing the kinds of things that Adam wants to do with battle rap can go, oh, but I'm still a good person. I'm still a good person. I can say all these things. I can say racist things in the ring, but I'm still really a good person. And that dichotomy, and then it's also a very mature, I think, confrontation of the kinds of cultural issues we're wrestling with, or at least in terms of white people who like hip hop and battle rap.
Battle rap is a street fight. You got someone right in your face trying to tear you apart.
I don't know if I should slap you like a bitch or punch your face like a man, because I keep switching from open palm to a fist,
like a white boy shaking your hand.
Ah, I keep going from open fist to a palm to open fist like a white boy shaking your hand. Oh, that's such a good bar. All right. So this is the kind of stuff you're going to have to look forward to if you watch the movie.
Actual G's, you ain't kill none. So shut the fuck up and chill, son. Just cause you look like Kim Jong-un doesn't mean you're ill, son.
You had some creative Asian jokes.
You think?
Yeah, at least you knew I was Korean. As far as I'm concerned, that's culturally sensitive by battle rap standards.
All right, that was one of the lines that kind of sums it up for me. Like, it really intrigued me when I saw the trailer, and it also fits right perfectly in the video in terms of, yeah, you know, when you are in a battle rap, if you come to it, you bring in whatever stereotypes of the group you come with, and that's what you're going to have to deal with when you face people. So that's the other thing. It's not only about how you decide what to say, it's also about processing what you hear and how you decide to react in the moment of a diss, how you decide to take it up a notch or take it down a notch or distract. That's also a revelation about the character, your character in these situations. Not that, you know, obviously in a battle rap, your point is to win. It was Eminem's freestyle after that. That's what I was going to talk about. Okay, one thing at a time. Finish the trailer and then we'll talk about Eminem's freestyle really quick.
Yeah. I don't know. You out there killing it, huh?
That audience reaction, it's like heroin.
So, what do you do? I mean, besides appropriate Black culture for your livelihood? Oh,
She bodied you.
not tonight, Satan.
Yeah.
Whenever I battle, I'm gonna get the bitch bar, and you won't get the Asian bar, because that's what the audience wants to hear.
Intolerance will not be tolerated! Get woke, cocksucker!
What you gonna do?
You ready for this?
You're crunchy granola. I can tell by your pungent aroma.
We got bitches, blunts, pregnant prostitutes.
This bitch got a wider gap than the income between white and black.
Are you trying to satirize? If I did, then would you be satisfied?
Stop rhyming, you little shit.
So, again, really interesting movie. I'm going to finish it up here, but because of fair use, again, I want to kind of break in this tension between acceptable, unacceptable is explored in a lot of different ways, including on his university campus, not just inside the ring. And this comes to the question of consequences for what you choose to say inside the ring and what happens. And given that some people are, you know, currently claiming that social media is a place where they can say anything they want and not have any real life consequences, it's just kind of a timely theme, perhaps.
When I'm done with this soft white rapper, he'll be on lines after, typing, all lives matter. Ha ha, white people.
That shit was crazy as fuck. That's why I watch rap battles. Body's entire family.
Yeah.
Your real name is Osiris, but your rap name is Ben.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I can hear the racist shit you thinking.
So if you had really came into this knowing nothing about what Bodied was, there you go, at least a little bit of a trailer. And there again, I moved my light, so we'll see if that's still working. Oh, I need to move my mic now. Hold on. I'll mute it so you don't hear me dragging it up. That's better. Right, that was the trailer. Eminem dropped a freestyle. He literally just like went someplace in Detroit with a camera crew and freestyled to demonstrate his off-the-cuff skills for 11 minutes straight. Just did flows, and he opens it up by saying, in rap battle, the point is to destroy your enemy by any means necessary and anything you need to say, and there's no limits on the kinds of words and ideas you can use. That's a pretty good setup for what follows, because there is misogyny in that quite a lot in the freestyle. And at the end of it, as he's walking sort of off of the, not off the stage, but let's say, you know, he's in a performance area and he's leaving it, he turns around and makes a nod back to a song ending from a long time ago when he says, and you know, I'm you know I love you, ladies, I'm just playing. Or, you know I'm just playing, ladies, I'm playing, ladies, you know I love you. In other words, what I've just said about all these misogynistic things, that was in the ring. That was in the battle rap, or in the, freestyle zone. That isn't what I really think. And probably I would have had a harder time with that claim before 2 months ago. Because if anything, what's changed my view of hip hop and battle rap in studying this and watching other people and listening to people who are part of the scene and who come from it from a place of appreciation, is that understanding a bit more about that line, about when you're an artist, you shouldn't always conflate the metaphorical with the literal. You shouldn't always take a line used in a diss as a true representation of the feelings of the person. Their motivations might be different. Now, you could say, well, how is that then different from what Sargon does on Twitter or whatever else? And that's easy. What these guys and ladies are doing is art. It takes skill, and it has a craft behind it. Carl opens his mouth and spews, misogynistic diarrhea, free form, without any filter into his content, without any artistic merit or artistic intent. And so it's very easy for me to say, look, these lines in terms of how they impact me, I have a profoundly negative reaction. However, I am not going to conflate the artist performing with the artist outside of the stage. If Eminem were to say things like that off stage, then that's, or outside of the freestyle, sort of space that he's operating in, then you can have a conversation on the merits. But I'm trying to draw a bit of a line around the art. And then he gets to bigger questions, like, does the artist have any responsibility for the kinds of content? And we can go on and on for there. I want to keep this limited because I was supposed to be a half hour and I'm already talking too much anyway. But that's what I'm wrestling with. I don't have an answer yet. And like Khan challenged his audience in Bodied, where are these lines? What is too far? What is the role of this sort of banter in society? These are all things I'm still very much wrestling with, and I don't have clear answers for yet. To wrap this up, I'm going to discuss the follow-up from the KSI Quadeca beef. If you remember from last week, I mentioned that KSI, the YouTube rapper, had been on a podcast and called out a couple YouTube rappers, but in particular Quadeca. Coffee time. Oh God, I need more coffee. Quadeca had made a song, also Screwface Jean and Dax, that I reviewed, and then KSI dropped Aries, which, and here's my assessment of, let me tell you what the community reaction was, and I'll tell you my reaction. Community reaction on the whole seems to be this. This was KSI's best diss song or diss track to date. People were impressed with what he was able to do inside the song, and they said his flow was quite good compared to his stuff in the past. But people also, unless they were real KSI fans, acknowledged that Quadeca's was just better. If you go and listen to Aries by KSI, you'll see there's a whole lot of reasons why Quadeca won. So, and I think that too. I think Quadeca won the battle. I think actually, like, KSI took L's against Dax and against Screwface Jean and against Quadeca. I mean, he just took L's all the way around. But against Quadeca in particular, I would say that KSI lost because the whole premise of the battle was that KSI said Quadeca thought he was better than he really was, and that he wasn't as good an artist as he is, and that anything Quadeca could do, KSI could blow him out of the water. He went after Quadeca for being like awkward and having a lisp and being skinny, all the things that Quadeca predicted, which was really disappointing. He didn't go after him for being white, but But all the other 4 out of the 5 he went after him for. His bars were just lame. He seemed to have done some research, but when you're 18 and you bring up a past girlfriend, as Quedeca said, I mean, I think the girlfriend that he brought, that KSI brought up to try to like stir shit with Quedeca was from the 9th grade. So it's hardly yeah. And in the end of the day, I just wasn't impressed with the lyrics. Let me give you an example, right? In Quedeca's song, he uses a line, KSI, oh, you had to go and transform. You're so deep and that's so sick. KSI, you're an asshole and you transformed into a bigger prick. Right? He uses those lines. And in KSI's response, he cites a song that Quedeca had mentioned him in before. Quedeca had done a video years ago where KSI was boxing someone, and he did a video from the perspective of both characters. So he did a KSI diss toward the other guy, and the other guy dissing KSI. And he wrote a little like song from their perspectives, battling each other. And in that song, that's actually the other character dissing KSI. He used the line, you had to you go and transform, that's so deep and you're so sick, KSI, you're an asshole, and you transformed into a bigger prick. Quedeca literally stole lyrics from that song and put them into his KSI diss for his song. If I were KSI, instead of referring to that reference, KSI referred to Quedeca dropping his name in that diss. I would have been like, oh, are you so weak that you have to go back and reuse your lyrics, that you can't come up with something more witty than something you did 2 years ago, but nobody saw because you have no fans? Like I can't lyrically put it together, but at least the kernel of a diss is better than, oh yeah, you dissed me once on a diss on a thing that he didn't really diss him on. Anyway, KSI, I think, took the L. Even Keemstar, I saw, put out a poll asking his fans, his followers who won, and Quedeca won the poll by like 7 or 8 percentage points. Not even, close from that perspective. Then I don't think diss track season is going to continue anymore. You know how I told you last time there was a whole sort of separate beef between KSI and his brother and some of his, in between him and their friends. And oh man, you want to talk about lines? Ooh, you want to talk about crossing lines in diss tracks and battle rap? This is a life lesson coming straight out of the questions raised by Bodied. KSI's cameraman, who's also a rapper, got into beef with KSI's brother, Deji, and in the course of those two battling, they brought out some of KSI's personal information, and then more personal information was revealed in another video, and it started to get very personal. And the most recent, and I think ending chapter of this, is a phenomenal song brought out this week in response to Aries that combines Deji, his cameraman J-Lo, who's okay, Dax, who I'm loving more and more every time I see him. People keep raving on about Dax, and I need to spend more time with his music because every time I see, he's very good. And Crypt, got to see Crypt in a song, and that was exciting. But you guys, the topic that they keep coming back to in that diss is abortion. And for as good as the song is, there are lines that they say that you're just like, and I think it's gone too far. It's all gone. It's too personal when people are battling like this and they know too much about each other. It's not just about saying, oh, you have a girlfriend, therefore I'm going to make some lines about how I'm going to have sex with your girlfriend. This is deeply personal, specific information that is being aired out in diss tracks. And I'm like, I think everyone feels like this is too far now, guys. Let's just bring all this back. Very timely in that way. But the themes of the film are actually playing out in real life here on YouTube. And, this is a distraction to me from the fact that Trump has been associated with 2 felonies, and we're probably heading into impeachment hearings in the next 18 months. So this is my way of relaxing, wrestling with these issues. As I said, I also find this stuff really interesting and fascinating, and want to share that passion with you, because yeah, it's like taking a little passion vacation. You get to hear somebody else be really into something that you don't care about, and maybe connect with the energy of that passion, even if you don't share it, and see that thing through the passionate eyes of someone else. And that's what I like to do, actually. That's why I like nerds. People who get really excited about very arcane or narrow or technical topics, and their passion actually makes you want to understand it better and want to understand it more. That, I think, is really cool. All right, I did all the things I said. I should keep notes. Like I keep a post-it note in my head of things I want to talk about, and occasionally the glue like drops on, then something will drop off. But I talked about the movie without the spoiler, movie kind of with the spoilers, but still not really. Talked about the KSI. Oh, we showed the trailer. Talked about the KSI situation. Then talked about the freestyle and the problems I have with it, but also how amazing it is. And talked about the KSI Quadeca beef and how it's gone off the rails. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. The last thing is, if you want to experience how good Quadeca is, because again, I mean, Dax too is really rising up. Crypt I had a lot of respect for. Dax is an amazing performer, but in terms of a person that I think has a lot of talent that's coming up, if you search Quadeca 30,000 word rap song, the kid gave himself a challenge on a video. If he got so many likes, he would write a rap song with as many words as he got likes. And I think he got 120,000 likes. And so, or 70,000 likes, and he went, no. Found that Hamlet had approximately 30,000 words and said, if it's good enough for Shakespeare, it's good enough for me. Fair play. And he wrote and performed, I think all in one take, because it's over an hour and a half long. And everything I've seen so far has just been in one take, which it would have to be a song, right? He sits down in front of a mic over a series of beats he's laid down to fill the time with his phone or notepad or whatever, and he just flows for 90 minutes. And it's not crap like, hey, what a nice day, gonna go away on holiday. Like, no, he is spitting. He's got stories he's telling. He's got themes that he's revisiting. If you want to just see someone go and flow on, a hip hop beat for 90 minutes, just to know that it can be done, that was, to me, really, really super impressive, and shows the kind of talent, like he's honing, Crypt is honing, Screwface Jean is honing, Dax, these people who work with words and sounds all the time, and their mastery. All right, I probably have gone double the time. Oh my God, Kristi, you talk so much and for so long. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If nothing else, kept you entertained, or background noise, or maybe you're falling asleep to it. That's okay too. I know that if my voice, I've been told, has got sort of a late night DJ voice quality to it, and if it's helping you fall asleep, well, then that's another thing that, another service my content can provide. Come over to Kevin Logan's channel tonight. We're going to talk, I think we're going to have to do a little bit of a nod, just because it's a huge story, to Trump and the felonies. But we're going to be, I think, mostly going over the Sargon getting kicked off of Patreon. I'm tired of talking about Sargon, but he keeps making news. And it's really, really hard to not cover it, considering he's finally getting the consequences we've all been warning him about for years. So go over to Kevin Logan's channel, check the time in your time zone by clicking on the video, and make sure you know when it starts. Set a reminder. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You can tell I've been watching a lot of reaction videos, because they always do this. Smash that like button, smash that. Like, I don't want to give orders. So, please, if you like it, subscribe or like or comment below. And until next time, guys, I think the Sunday thing might become a bit of a regular, because in the next 4 weeks, I have to master open broadcast software, OBS. And I'm thinking about using this format to do the OBS switch over and do some live streams and get some practice with working with OBS. So for the foreseeable future, I think the Sunday thing could be a regular visit. So hopefully see you next Sunday if I do this. I've been Kristi. You've been awesome. Definitely. Oh, you know what? I'm going to check the chat. I see there's only 9 of you, and you're probably already leaving. That's fine. I've already said goodbye, but I'm also trying to be a bit more interactive. So I'm going to check the chat really fast. Kristi says she's going to leave, and then it takes like 20 minutes to actually leave. I don't know about your family, but that's definitely something that happens in my family. When we were kids growing up, and the parents would be like, okay, go get your coat on, go get your hat on. We're going to go and leave the house now. And you're like, oh, okay, we still have 20 minutes because they aren't really leaving. They just say they're leaving. Oh, there's me. So well, I suppose that's the signal verbally. You're sitting around, there's a pause in the conversation at Halloween or a birthday present or birthday party, and someone goes, well, I suppose. It looks fucking funny. Yes, Bodied is hilarious. I probably didn't bring that out too much, but the whole point of dissing people is to kind of do jokes and punchlines. The movie is absolutely hilarious. I see Ghost Wolf subscribe to Canal. Do you mean the French film company or Canal, an artist? Right. Yes, I'm into battle rap. That's so weird. If Lux and Hollow couldn't beat that kid, why would Verb? I don't know what that meant. Sorry. Looking for... What's up, Kristi? Hey, GA5524. Check out Cadillac Run, R.I.P. R.I.P. Caddy. Let's see. Worth a watch. Yes, yes, yes. So just, if you guys have questions for me, just do put question marks at the end of things because it helps me figure out which are questions and which are comments. Oh, someone's mentioning enjoying Roman Polanski films, even though you know that the guy's a bit of a dirtbag. Yeah, I think it's a sort of a separate issue, but not dissimilar in terms of the character of the artist and the art they produce. Here it's the content of the art and the character of the artist. Kind of like, is what someone says always supposed to be kind of a reflection of who they really are inside? And should white people maybe stop being so obsessed with having everybody know that they're a really good person who's not really a racist and focus more on real relationships than defending themselves? I think that was another interesting question, challenge presented to me as a white viewer of this. I should work for NPR. Oh, thank you very much. Sargon might have to find a real job. Oh, I don't think so. In that, we'll talk more about this. Oh, he lied in his... Oh, did he pull some bullshit in his response? I want to pull him up on. But my impression is he'll just either get another service or he'll have people to donate directly to him through PayPal, and then he'll have to pay someone to do his taxes. I mean, I don't feel bad for him. It's not like all that money's gone forever. All right. I have a hard time tracking the lyrics in rap. I understand, and that's why YouTube is fabulous, because it has subtitles. Sometimes the subtitles are preset and they are the actual lyrics, and other times they're auto-generated based on the sound files. Either way, you can kind of sometimes catch things. So yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely watch with the lyrics. You say here, Iraski. I listened to Hamilton with the lyrics with the lyrics in front of me the first time to make sure I caught everything. Agreed. I mean, even with Hamilton, you're not going to get everything the first time, but at least you'll get all the words. You can see what all the words are. And then later you go back and listen to it again, or watch it again, or hear it again, or read them again. You're going to see something you didn't see before, because Lin-Manuel Miranda is just that good and that skilled at creating a conceptual piece. But even on the fly, another great freestyle is Eminem's 6-minute spontaneous freestyle that he did on a British radio show, and just got on the mic and started going for it. And you definitely need the subtitles in there, because sometimes, he's using words so quickly or whatever else that it's hard to catch up if you don't use them. But yeah, go ahead and use the subtitles. Have you checked out Soul Khan, progressive activist who started as a battle rapper? No, I have not. There are so many things I have to learn about. I am like kid in the candy store. People are like, here, try this. I'm like, oh, that is fire. And then people are like, try this. I'm like, this is also amazing. It's fantastic. It's like, yeah. So no, please send me a link. And everyone else saying goodbye. Good day. Yeah, you guys have stuff to go on with. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Hope I answered them all. And I'm going to finish up that thing before I said when I was Kristi and you were awesome. The thing I didn't say is goodbye for now. So thanks you guys for watching. I'm really going to leave this time. And we'll see you hopefully over at Kevin's channel later on tonight. And maybe next Sunday from me, if not before. All right. Bye.